So my presentation is on enhancing music lessons with technology. So my teacher has a lot of little kids that get very easily distracted in her classroom. They're wanting to share personal stories with her, what they did over the weekend, going to the playground. They're wanting to tattle on other kids, talk about what was going on at home last night, what homework they're doing, what's happening in their regular classes. She finds it very hard to keep her 20 to 30 students focused in her music classroom, especially because it's a specials type of classroom. Sorry, it's a specials type of classroom, and it's hands-on music lessons with instruments, so it can make redirection really difficult for her, especially when they get excited. They're working with the drums, they're working with the recorders, they're working with this or that, and it's just kind of hard to keep her students on task. So their age and grade level, they're K through 5, kindergarten through 5th grade. So they're about 5 to 11 years old. Kids in this age group, they tend to have very small attention spans and be very high energy, hard to redirect, hard to keep on task, running around, screaming, yelling, laughing, whatever. So the curriculum alignment for this, the Arkansas State music curriculum are the three at the bottom. So students will generate, organize, refine, and complete musical ideas and work. Students will develop, refine artistic techniques and skills for musical performance. And students will listen to, interpret, analyze, and evaluate music. So the music standards are demonstrating an understanding of rhythm, pitch, and dynamics. So bigger, louder, smaller, quieter. Participate in group performance together and develop their listening and performance skills. So the learning objectives are students will follow instructions for a music activity, focus on their instruments without distractions, engage in group music activities or group performance, listen and perform using correct rhythm and correct pitch. So the first tool that I've chosen for this classroom is a wearable microphone. So to wear around the neck, wear on the collar. It helps get and keep students' attention. It reverberates through the room. Students are able to hear the teacher over 20 to 30 students since the teacher is outnumbered. The second tool that I have chosen is an electric keyboard. She does not have a keyboard or a piano in her classroom. The teacher can play live music for the students. She's having to play things on recordings from a projector right now, and that really just distracts the kids to be finding the recording, getting it set up on the projector, showing them the recording. So this would keep students engaged. And tool number 3 that I've chosen is a smart board, which I think every classroom should have. She would have an interactive board instead of the projector that she has now. She could write on it, play videos, use the online tools like the timers and the games and presentations and instruction and all of that. So for the introduction, the teacher would play a short rhythm on the keyboard and ask the students to repeat the rhythm back to her, prompting them with, who can clap this song back to me? Who can clap this rhythm with me? Using classroom-focused terminology, so rhythm, pitch. So if the teacher were to play like on the keyboard, then all of the students, when prompted, would go with her. An instrument-focused activity for the classroom. So the students would practice on hand drums or xylophones, and the teacher can use her microphone to give instructions and help reduce off-task behavior. So not a lot of classrooms will have things like xylophones, but I think hand drums are usually something that is pretty easy to get a hold of for a music classroom, especially a younger music classroom. Even when the kids are off task, when they're beating on the drum or they're throwing the xylophone sticks or whatever, the microphone can help her talk over them. Next would be to move into an interactive game. So the smartboard shows musical patterns or notes, and the students will identify rhythms or match sounds. So which picture matches this sound? You put a picture of a trumpet, or you put a picture of instruments on the smartboard, you play something from maybe a trumpet or a drum or a keyboard or a flute, and then you ask the students what instrument matches the sound. Or you play a rhythm for them, a very simple rhythm, and say, okay, what musical notes match this rhythm? And then you move into group performance after they're familiarized. So the students will perform in small groups. The teacher plays the keyboard to lead or assist. The students are able to see others perform and also get feedback on their performances. So you would pair the students off into small groups, give them the music, help each of the groups individually, and then at the end of class come together for small group performances, and maybe if you have time, a large group performance. So the assessment part of this, obviously the teacher would be observing during the activities and participating in the group performance, but also correct use of the instruments and the following of rhythms. And the teacher could also choose to do a short reflection using her smartboard or tablet, or have students raise their hands and reflect on the group performance or reflect on the activities that they did together. And the benefits of this technology is it keeps students engaged. They're there for the lesson. You're not switching back and forth between videos and instruments and everything. It reduces their off-task behavior, and it allows for smoother redirection, especially with the microphone. It encourages interactive hands-on learning, so the instrument's with the kids as well as the instrument with the teacher, and the teacher can give much clearer instruction. So technology makes lessons more efficient. There's just no way to get through a lesson anymore without some sort of technology. Teacher attention is amplified with the microphone. She talks, students listen. She's able to talk over the student. She doesn't have to yell, she doesn't have to strain herself. The hands-on activities are guided by the keyboard and the smartboard, and students learn while staying focused and engaged.